This is the fourth in a four-part series of videos about the new Oakland zoning ordinance. In this segment, we'll be talking about the zoning maps. This video covers how to read the zoning maps and highlights the places in Oakland where the rules will change as the new ordinance is carried out. To learn more about what zoning is and why it's important to every Oakland resident and business, you can watch the first video in this series. The second video will tell you about the regulations for residential areas, and the third video will tell you about the regulations for commercial areas. With a few clicks of your mouse, you can view the proposed maps for your Oakland neighborhood or favorite shopping district. This video will help you understand how to read the maps and how to know your zone. When you download a zoning map, a portable document file or PDF will open. You can use your mouse to navigate around the map and zoom in to see more detail. The map shows the existing and proposed zoning on every parcel in the city. On each map, you'll see the existing zone in green and the proposed zone in red. Areas shaded in light gray, which tell you that a change in the allowable density has been proposed. In other words, the number of housing units that can be built on a parcel. Areas shaded in dark gray, which indicate that a change in use has been proposed. For example, the dark shaded area on this map shows a few properties that are being rezoned from manufacturing use to residential use. Areas that are not shaded are proposed to have no significant change to the existing zoning. The maps also show proposed height limits along commercial corridors. Most of the changes to the zoning map fall into one of these three categories: areas where the existing zoning is not consistent with the general plan map, areas where the existing zoning is not consistent with the general plan's policies, and areas where the existing zoning doesn't match the existing land use. So, where has the zoning changed? We've highlighted 6 types of areas in the next few slides. First, mostly single-family neighborhoods that have been zoned for high-density housing in the past. These homes in the Piedmont Avenue neighborhood are zoned for high-density housing today. Under current rules, each of these homes could be demolished and replaced with apartments. In this case, rezoning to a much lower density has been proposed. There are also neighborhoods of the city that consist almost entirely of high-density apartment buildings that are zoned for single-family homes. For instance, this block in Adams Point is zoned for single-family homes, despite the fact that almost every building is a 4-story apartment. In this case, the proposed zoning is RM4, which is not as dense as what is actually there, but more dense than the zone that applies today. The RM4 designation is consistent with the general plan and can help support continued investment in multifamily neighborhoods. The zoning has also changed along many of Oakland's major thoroughfares. Some parts of the city's thoroughfares are zoned for commercial uses today, but are transitioning to multifamily housing or housing with ground-floor commercial space. Some of the areas being rezoned from commercial use to residential use include sections of International Boulevard and Foothill Boulevard in Fruitvale and East Oakland, sections of Telegraph Avenue and Martin Luther King Jr. Way in North Oakland and West Oakland, sections of San Pablo Avenue in West Oakland, and sections of MacArthur Boulevard in North Oakland and in the Laurel District. The zoning has also changed in some parts of the Oakland Hills. In many locations, the minimum lot size has increased from 5,000 square feet to either 8,000 or 12,000 square feet, recognizing steep slopes and other constraints. Other areas where you'll see changes on the zoning maps are in some of our neighborhood commercial districts. A few local shopping areas, like Grand Avenue and Lakeshore near Lake Merritt, are zoned for heavy commercial activities like auto repair today. Zoning changes will make sure that these areas continue to be pedestrian-oriented and serve local rather than regional businesses. Some of the zoning map changes affect small pockets of industrial use surrounded by housing. If you look at the zoning map for West Oakland, especially in neighborhoods like Clawson and Prescott, you see places where 1 or 2 properties may have industrial zoning in neighborhoods that are otherwise residential. Most of these pockets will be rezoned for housing. There are a number of ways you can comment on the zoning proposals. Putting comments in writing is always the best way to register your opinion or make a request. You can regularly check the project website for updates. The URL is www.oaklandnet.com/zoningupdate. All of the proposed new regulations and maps are on the web. The website includes a link where you can send emails with specific comments or feedback on the maps or regulations. Comments can also be sent by fax or left as voicemail messages on the Zoning Update message line at 238-7299. Looking ahead, you can also participate in meetings of the Zoning Update Committee, or ZUC. This is a 3-member subcommittee of the City Planning Commission that meets as needed to consider zoning issues. All of the residential and commercial zoning regulations, including the maps, will go to the Zoning Update Committee for discussion. These are public meetings with dedicated time on the agenda for public comments. Once the ZUC makes a recommendation, the proposed regulations will go to the full Planning Commission. That is expected in fall 2010. Several meetings of the Commission are likely before action is taken. Once the Planning Commission makes a recommendation, the zoning regulations and maps will go to the City Council. They'll first be considered by the Council's Community and Economic Development Subcommittee and then by the full Council. Adoption by the full Council is likely during 2011. There is also another phase of the zoning update that will start in late 2010 or 2011. This involves looking at other aspects of the zoning regulations. That concludes this 4-part video series. If you have questions, please visit our website at www.oaklandnet.com/zoningupdate.